Hey gang, JC here, and this is the Daily Dose for Thursday, October 6th, 2011. A combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Great television archives. Top of the page, our eye candy feature along the bottom. We'll talk baseball in just a couple of seconds. Go Cards. Off in the corner, our rock and roll poll question. So singer Hank Williams Jr. compared the president to Hitler on Fox News earlier this week. Should he have had his music from the Monday Night Football opening segment pulled because of it? And 58% of you say no. Very interesting. 42% said yes. He's already issued an apology, and I just don't know if this is one of those things. Well, I got a lot of email from people saying he didn't really compare President Obama to Hitler. He used an analogy. Well, you might be sort of mincing words. There were splitting hairs. Mentioned the president and Hitler in the same sentence, drawing the two together in a similar fashion. So, you can call it what you want, but he sort of did it. But again, 58% of you say that's not enough to make them, have them pull the music. Anyhow, Steve Jobs passes away yesterday. There's a very interesting little story about him coming up a little bit later on here in the dose. Do you own an Apple product? That's all I have. Desktop, laptop, iPods, iPhone, wife's got them, daughter's got them, everybody's got them. That's all we have. There's not a piece. Well, my wife has one PC in the house, and that's it. Everything else is Apple products in this house, and always has been, by the way. But do you own an Apple product? Yes or no? Please answer. We have results for you tomorrow here on the Daily Dose, and every day between noon and 3 on the Big 550 KTRS, where Trish Gazelle and I reside every day. By the way, Hank Williams Jr. is said to be quite stressed because of the fallout, because of those comments he made. I don't know, maybe he needs to take some time off and relax. I hear Rick Perry has a hunting lodge where he can spend some time. So, Skip Schumacher removed from the game yesterday in the 6th inning, 1 inning after the rally squirrel darted between his legs during an at-bat. It's the first time I've ever heard of a player being pulled from a game because of rabies. Well, we live in exciting times. And I was at the ball game last night. Triple C was at the ball game last night. This is pretty amazing. We have rocked the East Coast media establishment, the people at ESPN, Major League Baseball in New York, and that whole mess up and down the Eastern Seaboard that believes that their teams are always dominant, should always be in the prime time, should always be the focus of everybody's attention. And here in little old St. Louis, we rocked the East Coast sports media yesterday. I will say this. I don't know what's going on, but 30% of the ballpark was empty yesterday on the first pitch. I understand that a 5 o'clock start time on a Thursday might not be an easy thing to comply with. People have soccer games with their kids and stuff like that, after school activities. I understand all that. But 30% of the ballpark empty at the time of the first pitch? Well, starting to fill in a little more. It was never really completely full. I think there's probably about 15% of the ballpark that was still empty throughout the course of the game yesterday, but it didn't really matter because we played ball. But that center field blinded by the sun thing, John Jay, was one of the last things I said during the broadcast yesterday live from Hooters. We'll talk about that in a minute too. But I said, wouldn't it be something if that ended up being a major factor? And boy, it was for the first part of the game. And then Shane Victorino throws the ball backwards and into the turf on the Berkman double. Philly is probably kicking themselves all the way back to Philadelphia, thinking to themselves, we should have had 6 runs in that first inning, and we only got 2, and I think that's where they lost the ball game. They should have blown the Cardinals out in the first inning. It looked really bleak there. I think it was something like 3 hits on 5 pitches. So, Edwin Jackson had thrown 5 pitches, 3 hits. So, anyhow, but that rally squirrel in the 5th inning, and it reminds me of those of you who were in attendance at Busch Stadium back in the 80s. And they always, between innings, would run those blooper reels and sort of funny stuff on the Jumbotron between innings. And you'll remember a classic scene where a stadium worker was sent out onto the field. And this was up on the video, up on the Jumbotron. They show this over and over and over again. This stadium worker, this long, lanky, Hoosieritic-looking stadium worker was sent out onto a field somewhere to pick up a kitten. Somehow a kitten ended up on the field. And the guy sort of, casually, trotted out there, picked up this kitten and started to walk with it. And from the look on the stadium worker's face, apparently the kitten had stuck all 20 of its claws and a mouthful of teeth into this guy's hand as he was carrying it. And the look on this guy's face as he was like, oh, and now he's trying to get rid of this cat, but this cat has, permanently, affixed itself to this guy's hand. It was just absolutely the funniest thing I've ever seen. But this squirrel thing is going to pop up all over everywhere. The play by Albert in the sixth inning on Utley at third base was just an absolutely brilliant baseball play. I'm one of those people, I have the same feeling about Tony La Russa. I love Albert, I love Tony, they both drive me crazy. And Albert's base running and hogging the field and going after balls that aren't his and just stuff like that drives me crazy throughout the course of the regular season. But in a brilliant move where he actually pulled himself off the bag and let the runner, it was Hunter Pence, let the runner be safe at first and step forward, grab that ball and throw it in third base. Just absolutely brilliant. I got to start twittering though. This might be the day I start twittering because there were so many lines we had about funny stuff in the press box yesterday. I was sitting with the KFNS guys and one of our stringers for KATRS, David Solomon, and we were laughing our asses off up there yesterday. I got to open a Twitter account. Look for that very, very soon. All right, let's shift gears here. We'll talk more about some other stuff here in just a little while. But coming to St. Louis, Bob Seger, and I don't know if there's a Silver Bullet band anymore, but Bob Seger is coming into town. We don't have any details, any information, but we expect to have that by the end of the day. So watch for that. We'll let you know as soon as we know something. Hope Solo from the St. Louis Athletica and the United States women's soccer team is naked in this year's body issue of ESPN magazine. And I gotta tell you something, she might be a fabulous athlete and a wonderful person, but I don't find that stuff the least bit attractive. She is muscular in almost a masculine manner. I don't like it any more than I would like to see a man look feminine. I know that some people are into that, and I guess you gotta do that if you're an athlete, but I don't get it. Ain't my cup of tea. In an interview to mark the network's 15th anniversary, Roger Ailes over at Fox, who runs Fox News, finally admitted that he hired Sarah Palin, quote, because she was hot and got ratings. That's pretty much it. And she's not running for president now, so a lot of comedians around the country wearing a black armband today. Paul McCartney says he believes the Beatles would have reunited and kept making music had John Lennon lived. And he goes back to that thing in the 70s and 76 when Lorne Michaels offered the Beatles like a couple $100 to perform on Saturday Night Live. And he said that John Lennon and Paul were sitting there watching Saturday Night Live together and said, you know what? Here's the quote. John said, we should just go down there. Just you and me. We'll show up. There's only two of us, so we'll take half the money. It didn't happen because, according to Paul McCartney, they were just too lazy to do it. But they really seriously thought about it. And I'd heard that story before, and now Paul McCartney confirmed it yesterday in an interview with Britain's Daily Express. The Sporting News. Remember when they listed St. Louis as the great American sports city and had Chris Pronger and Jim Edmonds and Kurt Warner on the cover? And we're like, oh, this is great. We're the greatest sports city in America. Well, the Sporting News just released a list of the best sports cities in the U.S. for 2011. 271 cities. Dallas, number 1. Boston, 2nd. Philadelphia, 3rd. Chicago, 4th. And St. Louis, number 27. How can we go from 1 to 27? Okay, behind Nashville and Raleigh-Durham. Nice job, guys. Stupid. I'll go back to the Steve Jobs thing. A lot of people don't know that Steve Jobs was adopted because he was born in 1955 in San Francisco to a Syrian Muslim grad student and an American classmate. They put him up for adoption. In 72, he dropped out of school in his first semester of college in Portland, Oregon, and he earned money by returning Coke bottles and got free meals at the local Hare Krishna temple. 74-75, quit his first job at Atari to backpack across India, take psychedelic drugs, convert to Buddhism, shave his head. 76, he and Steve Wozniak formed Apple Computers. They built their first personal computer in Jobs' parents' garage. 77, Apple releases Apple II, which becomes the first widely used personal computer in the world. That's 77. In 1980, Apple went public. After one day of trading, Jobs was worth $239 million. He was 25 years old and passed away yesterday. Amazing story, amazing story. All right, no significant birthdays today, but it is 80 days until Christmas. Oh, JC's Eye Candy today. We got a shot. Bill Greenblatt, UPI. I don't know how he does it. I just don't know how he does it. He's always there. He always has the great pictures. And we got a shot of the squirrel going right between Skip Schumacher's legs of that at-bat yesterday in the fifth inning. It's a great shot. It's an eye candy right below. And then also you heard us talking yesterday during our broadcast from Hooters about Teresa, one of the servers. We felt it necessary. We felt it was our obligation. We felt it was our civic duty to share a picture with you of Teresa out on the street in front of Hooters. She is a very, very healthy young lady, and we thank everybody at Hooters for their hospitality the last couple of days. All right, let's see what happens tomorrow night. We live in exciting times. Game 5. We have rocked Major League Baseball, folks. We have rocked them. All right, do you own an Apple product? Yes or no? Please answer in the corner. We'll have results for you tomorrow. Joe Marlotti, professional comedian, joins us in the 1 o'clock hour today on the Big 550 KTRS. And the Smash will be with us tomorrow, as he is on every Friday on the Big 550. And then we'll see where this whole thing goes. We'll see if we're still talking baseball next week and if we're back at Hooters and having a great old time. I'm not sure. I got to double check this, but I think we would play in St. Louis Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But I'll go double check that and make sure that I have that right. Don't quote me on that. I wouldn't Twitter that. Let's put it that way. That's it. The Daily Dose brought to you by absolutely nobody but yours truly for Thursday, October 6th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.